Hi, welcome back to depression-youarenotalone.com. I'm Shannon. To my right is Lou.
Hi, everyone.
Behind the scenes is John, who never says hello. And to my left is Lily. You can't see her, though. She's joining us.
She's very tired.
Yes.
And all the nothing.
Not doing anything.
Oh, no, her paw hurts
did.
from the surgery, so.
Yeah, she had surgery on her paw, so she's a little...
Yeah, wasn't that last week? She should be good.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
no,
because the
she's not.
healing...
2 weeks ago.
She's bleeding because she picks at it and all
The
kinds
healing
of
takes a
stuff.
little bit of time. So today we want to talk about... oh, and I'm still a little bit under the weather, so... With this cold. That's why we didn't do it last week, right? We didn't do anything last week.
No.
Last week.
No.
And you were sick, and John got sick.
Well, I was kind enough to not give you the Rona, but you gave me this fucking cold.
Yeah, and I don't have the coronavirus because I was tested twice. To this day, Shannon and I have not had it. I don't know how. Don't know how, but we don't have it. But today I want to talk about when people are told to admit that they're powerless over, it could be an addiction, it could be depression, it could be anything. Now, I do agree with that. I actually cringe when I hear that sometimes, but I do agree with that. Short term, if someone's struggling, they're in a bad situation, bad spot, and they find themselves unable to, get through it by themselves. I agree with that 100%. That's when you should go get help. But I think in some cases it's like embedded in people that they have to kind of feel that the rest of their lives, that they're powerless.
Yeah.
And that is not a way to live.
No.
For example, in religion, it happens in religion where, only God can do this, only God can do that. You can't do anything. Only God can give you the power to do this or do that or do that. I'm sorry. Everybody has their beliefs. I respect that. I totally disagree with that. 100%. And for those that watch our videos and know my background, know what I've been through, you would say, I get it. I understand why he feels that way. But again, someone, for example, an addiction, they're spiraling. They just can't control themselves. They can't get a hold of the issue. They're powerless at that time, yes. So you then go get help. Mental illness. I just want to make it clear. Now, there could be people watching this saying, yeah, no kidding, I know that. That's obvious. I'm going to say this, I've said this in the past. What may be obvious to me, to you, is not obvious to everyone.
Yeah.
I've heard people tell me they went to a therapist, didn't work for them, they're never going to another therapist again because it didn't work. Okay. Then you get a different therapist. But you also have to understand something. Oh, I also heard this is an oldie but a goodie. I paid the therapist, and I still don't feel the way I want. As if you go to a therapist, you pay them, like going to an auto mechanic. Oh, you go to an auto mechanic, hey, my fuel pump is bad. You pay them to replace the fuel pump. Now the fuel pump is replaced. It's fine. That's not how life works.
No.
You don't go to a therapist for that and then sit back, cross your arms, and say, fix it.
It don't work that way.
Fix it. I'm paying you, so fix it. No. A therapist or a psychiatrist is to help you realize things, to help give you the tools to go forward with your life, to improve your life, to improve the situation. A therapist is not following you around 24/7.
No.
You have to live 23 hours out of the day. If you're in a therapist's office for 50 minutes or an hour, the other 23 hours you have to live on your own. So you have to have the tools
To be able to
necessary, exactly, and to also deal with things that are going to come at you. Because I promise you this, I don't like saying it, but it's life. Things are going to come at you. Sorry, it's
life.
It's life for all of us. None of us are immune from that. I don't care if you're wealthy, poor, tall,
Whatever.
short, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Life, things will come at you.
Yeah.
The therapist is to help you cope, to help you deal, for you to have the tools to deal with those things, to get yourself out of the situation you're in now, but for you to do it, not to do it for you. Now again, I know people say, man, what he's saying is so obvious. Yes,
But it isn't
to most
obvious
of
to
us, but not to
everybody.
everyone, because I have heard this. I paid a therapist, it didn't work, I'm never going to another therapist again. Well, you're only hurting yourself. And sometimes it's not the right therapist for you.
Find
Sometimes
another
it's
one.
not. I knew someone, I think I may have mentioned this in the past, that was so dependent, let me know if you remember this, that was so dependent on her therapist. After years of going to her therapist, she could not make a decision without consulting her therapist
Okay.
first. When I say make a decision, I'm talking about relationships, buying a car, any aspect
remember you
of her
talking
life.
about that.
I did. Maybe
Yeah.
I had, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Could not make a single decision in her life without first consulting her therapist.
That's the extreme.
Now, that falls on her therapist for being a scammer.
Yeah.
Because a therapist's job is not to make you dependent on them as if they were a drug,
Yeah.
but to give you the tools for you to be independent, for you to overcome, for you to learn to deal with things, to understand what you're going through, understand what you need to do to get out of it. For the rest of your life, hopefully, to gain those tools
Yeah.
and the knowledge.
That's pretty bad that she had to call the therapist just to.
I want to say that, excuse my throat, I apologize, but I wanted to say that because I think it's very detrimental if someone goes to a therapist, it doesn't work with that therapist, and they give up.
Yeah. There's one out there. You just gotta look.
You have to get a different therapist. Remember, they're human beings. There are great ones. There are good ones. There are terrible ones because they're human. There are those that care so much about their patient. There are those that are in it for the money.
Yeah.
And if some therapist is watching this and gets offended, you know it's true. You have colleagues, I'm sure, that you know. Yeah, so-and-so, not a very good therapist. I would never do what he or she does. It's just life. It's just reality. We're humans. There are people that are good at things, and there are people that are not as good at things. Or in it, or in it for the money.
Yeah.
And there are people that will do anything to help that patient.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one you got to find.
They're out there.
But to admit you are powerless, if you're in a crisis mode, crisis situation, you don't know how to break this pattern right now. As I said, I agree with that. You feel powerless, there's no shame in that. So you go and you get help. But for the rest of your life to feel powerless, as this example I gave you of this person that couldn't even buy a car
Yeah, that's
without
That's,
speaking to her therapist.
that's
So
not good.
to her, she's powerless to make decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's permanent.
Yeah.
She was taken
She
advantage
can't
of.
think for herself.
She's basically taking advantage
Yeah.
of. And she didn't have the ability to realize, wait
Yeah.
a minute, what? This
Yeah,
isn't
that's on the
right.
therapist.
This doesn't seem
Yeah.
right. And then what happens with people too, with friends or family, if they know, a lot of times they don't want to say anything because they don't want to offend you. They don't want, oh, if I say something, she might get offended. Sometimes you need to offend people for their own good.
You have to.
Not attack them, but hopefully help them realize things.
Yeah.
This is not right. You met someone, right? You met someone. You don't know if you should date them without talking to your therapist who never met that person.
Yeah.
This almost seems comical.
It is. It's sad.
It's sad because it's
It is
real
sad.
life. It's
Yeah.
life. What
There's
happens
no
to
bueno.
what happens to a person like this where a crisis hits and doesn't have the ability or the tools to deal with it because all those years of going to this one therapist was never helped to deal with things.
Yeah, that's.
This is like crack.
Yeah.
That therapist
Crack.
is like making her a crack addict.
Yeah.
You cannot function in your life without me. And I'm not doing this for free. You're paying me.
But
And
there are
that's
therapists
the whole
out there.
idea of it.
Yeah, but that's sick.
But there are good therapists out there.
Of course, there are excellent therapists.
Yeah.
I've known many that are
Just like-
excellent,
Just like excellent doctors.
that treat you as
Yeah.
if you're a family member. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that care that much because they take pride in what they do, so they want you to have results of spending time with them.
Yeah.
They're doing their job.
Their
Their
main job is not to keep you coming back for more.
No, the main job hopefully is you don't need to go back ever after a while.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You've grown.
that'd be nice.
You've learned. You realize things now. You realize how to deal with situations when they arise again, which you didn't before, but now you do. Not going to a therapist for every decision the rest of your life and feeling, because you truly are powerless. This lady is powerless.
Yeah.
Day-to-day life can't function without someone else that she's paying to tell her how she should do this or do that or do this or do that.
Well, you gotta look at it. She's made herself powerless too.
Yes, well, she was also taken advantage of,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah, of
because
course.
had she been with a good therapist, maybe things would be different.
Oh, big time.
Because she trusted. That's the thing. You need to trust your therapist, right? You need
And
to
feel
trust
comfortable, trust
that this
all
person
that. Yeah.
is here to help me.
Yeah. Not take advantage.
help me.
Yeah.
Here, have some pills or whatever.
And not and again, not the belief that, well, I'm paying this person, so I need them to fix things. You fix it because I'm paying
It
you.
doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way. They're supposed to help you help yourself.
Well,
With addiction, listen, addiction, the same thing. Yes, you're powerless, you're addicted, you need help to get off of this, to get you started. But that person, that counselor, whoever, is not following you around 24/7, is not sleeping in bed with you, is not in the
At least we don't
bathroom with
think
you,
so.
is not at work with you. It's to give you the tools to where you are not powerless. That word powerless, and I hear it, I've heard it so much, and I know, is again, I'm not anti-religion, but I know there's a lot of that in religion, that you can't do anything without the higher power doing it for you, or giving you the power to do it. You have no power. That's wrong.
Yeah.
It's insane.
and it's total bullshit.
It's insane. It's wrong. You want people to have power over their lives, control over their lives. Wouldn't you want that for the viewer? Wouldn't you want that? To know when something happens, I can analyze it, see my situation, know what I have to do, and get
Of
through
course.
this. And get through this. Not, oh, that's it, I can't do anything. I have to
Yeah.
now fall to my knees
No.
and ask for help with this. Then you're powerless. It's funny too. This happens a lot with parents, where parents will do anything for their kids, figure things out, do this, do that, take care of this, take care of that, and then for themselves, they just don't know what they can't. They just don't know what to do, and they don't do it.
Well, you look at a lot of these people that they're told by their religious comrades or whatever you want to call them, that they're powerless. They have to look to God or whatever to fix all their problems. What would these people say when they hear about people that have absolutely no beliefs, that fight their way through and they fix their problems?
Well, because we're all different. Some people need something,
Yeah.
and some people realize, I need to be able to get through things. I need to do this. I need to do that. I have people counting on me. I have to count on myself. There are people that realize that. They can still be religious.
Oh yeah,
still
they
religious.
still can, yeah.
Because it's not about that. It's some people just have to have something, like a crutch. Like a crutch.
Yeah.
And they can say, oh, this good thing happened because God looked out for me. But the bad thing happened too.
But that was God's will.
It wasn't Satan, it wasn't the devil, it's life.
It is life.
That is what life is. To us as humans, in the animal world,
It's
everywhere. It's not just human life, it's just life.
It is life. It is. You sure are right.
We just, minutes ago, saw a moth on the screen, just sitting there fluttering away, and here comes a lizard and ate him.
Oh, and he got
It's
him.
life,
I know.
right?
I didn't like it though.
It's not just people, not
Actually,
just
you sure
humans.
it wasn't a butterfly?
It was a moth.
Yeah.
It's not just humans.
Yeah, but they're high in protein.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
I don't know how he ate him.
it's just for years as I've heard, you have to admit you're powerless. I've had people say that to me. You have to admit you're powerless. No, I'm not doing that. I may feel powerless right now. Yes, I'm struggling.
not gonna admit it.
I'm struggling.
That's
But
ridiculous.
I have to not be powerless because no one is going to solve my problem if I do nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
If I do nothing, what's going to happen? Nothing.
Nothing at all. Well, or it could get very worse.
And do I want to be dependent on a stranger or someone else to make decisions for me?
And tell you that you're powerless?
And exactly, because, you know,
Really?
like I said, it's like a drug. Hey, you're powerless, so you need to keep coming to me for answers.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what does that make me? A fool? It does truly make me powerless.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable. It's unacceptable, and like I said, with addiction, no matter what it is, mental illness, I'm going to say again, you go to a therapist, that therapist is not going home with you, is not spending 24 hours a day with you. You need to make decisions. You need to solve problems. When I say you, we, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's by not feeling powerless, by the complete opposite, is getting to that point. It could take a while. Could take a while.
Yeah, good.
But getting to the point where I'm not
At
powerless.
least work at it.
I can solve problems. I can solve my problems. I can think about them. I can analyze. What do I need to do? What did I do that didn't work? Do something different.
Yeah, it's not working.
That's what a good therapist or psychiatrist is going to do. To where you don't need them the rest of your life. I went to a psychiatrist for many years ago, for years. I don't need a psychiatrist anymore. I don't need a therapist. It was a growing process,
Yeah.
learning. But
You got there.
But I also wanted to learn. I wanted to realize things. And there's too much of I don't want to put in work. I know I've said this in the past because it's true. I've had people tell me this. I went to a therapist. I paid him. I still don't feel right. Now, but what have you done? Right?
And you've got to do some. You got to take on the
This idea that you go to a therapist and you just sit there and know, and okay, here's the money, or my insurance
fix
card,
me.
whatever. Do your thing. I'm just going to sit here and watch.
Yeah, do your magic.
Yeah, do your magic
It's not
on
quite
me.
how it works.
I'm going to sit here and watch, and it should be fixed. You should fix it because I'm
It's
paying
just-
you.
It's not quite how
This is
that
what I'm
works.
paying you for, to fix it.
Yeah.
I don't think a therapist or a psychiatrist's job is to fix it. It's to give you the tools and the knowledge for you to better yourself, better your life, and go forward instead of being stuck
Yeah.
in a rut that you don't know how to get out of.
Little baby steps.
And there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
That's an important thing. There's no shame in saying, I don't know how to get out of this. There's no shame in it. Actually, you should be proud of yourself when you go get help. You should be proud that you did that. There was a celebrity here recently that you told me about, when he canceled his concerts or whatever because mentally he wasn't right. Oh, I think it was someone else that told me that.
Well, I don't know. You're
That
talking.
canceled his something. I remember if it was movie. He was doing a movie, or whatever, because
His head
he
wasn't-
put himself in the hospital because he didn't feel right. He needed to get help,
Lily,
and
come
he
here.
did it on his own. Lily, come here.
She wanted to say something.
That's something a person should be proud of, not embarrassed about. Worried about the stigma, worried about this, worried about that. You know what it all is? It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Being embarrassed or whatever, bullshit. Getting help when you need it, that's what's important.
Getting the right help when you need
Of
it.
course, the right help. And you know what? Sometimes
you
it's
gotta-
trial and error,
Of course it
as
is.
so many things in life are.
You may have to go through a few therapists to get to the one you want.
So many things
Well,
are.
like my idiot doctor that I had years ago, I told him, by the way, doc, I got insomnia. Oh, well, I can refer you to the psychiatrist. They have all the good drugs.
Yeah.
That's what this idiot actually said.
But
You want to go to a doctor like that?
Some people do.
I know a lot of people do. There's a lot of doctors that
Some
are
people
like
do.
that.
That's why we've said this many times, and it's a fact. We all know it. That many people in this country are over-medicated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a
that's
fact.
true. That
It's a
is
fact.
true.
There are so many things you can do. Listen, as I've said before, I'll say this again. I am on no medications. None. I was on a cocktail. No one told me, hey, you need to get off of this. I'm the one that said, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm a zombie. I can't think straight. I can't remember. I can't remember a conversation I had an hour ago.
But we're not
because of all the
telling you-
medications I'm on.
We're not saying get off your medication.
Not at all.
No.
Always through your doctor. And there are some people that will need medications the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And if you do, you do. Listen, quality of life is the bottom line. But I could have been on medications for many years, more and more years. And look, I got off of one at a time.
Yeah.
Told my doctor, with my doctor, okay, you're good. You're good on this one. You're okay. Not giving it to you again. You don't need it.
Yeah.
Got off the next one. Got off the next one. I'm not on any.
And you're not on anything.
I could be on 5, and there are people that, yeah, I'll take the medication.
Yeah.
And let's face it, with, for example, panic attacks, anxiety, some of those medications, they feel good. Even when you don't have anxiety or a panic attack.
The problem is people start getting reliant on these things.
And
You get hooked.
addicted.
Yeah.
Because many of them are very highly addictive. And
Sure.
but again, if we learn to do things, there are certain medications we can get off of, if not all.
Yeah.
If not all. In some cases, yeah, I need medication for the rest of your life. Fine. If that's what it takes for you to have a great quality of life,
Yeah.
yes.
That's okay.
But if you're on a cocktail of medications because you don't want to work on things, you don't want to do
Yeah.
anything, it's easier to pop a pill, and then pop a second pill,
If it gets to
and
the
then
point
pop
where
a
you
third
can't
pill,
function,
then
no.
pop a fourth pill.
Yeah.
I remember I'm a creative person. I remember not being able to create anything, do anything, not being motivated to do anything, not remembering anything, confused, lethargic,
Certain medications will do
tired,
that.
dry mouth, headache, you
All kinds
name
of side
it.
effects.
And I said to myself, quickly, no, I'm not. No,
Yeah,
nope.
enough is enough.
I know I need this right now, but this is not going to be the rest of my life. Not to mention, I'd probably ruin my liver and everything else.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, with these prescription drugs, the liver's always
Yeah.
the first.
Because you pay a price. Now, again, as I said, when you need it, you need it. It's different.
Yes.
But
100% different.
all right. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, we now have a cat here.
And I apologize, but this is just something that I needed to say because it's always bothered me for so many years, in talking to people about this. So, folks, we from the three of
Thanks
us,
for
we'd like to
joining.
Yeah,
say,
by the way, we know the lighting's not all that great, but that's what we got.
So we got the
Yeah.
sun barreling
and
down on this.
we try to do this outside, as we tell people. We try to be outside as much as we can.
Absolutely.
As we recommend to people, get out of your house.
Get out of your house, get some vitamin
don't
D,
stay
get
cooped
some
in. Get out.
sunlight.
And we're trying to lead by example. We enjoy being outside.
Yeah.
So, folks,
Thanks
if you can
again.
please subscribe to our YouTube channel, we really appreciate it. And if you can give us a thumbs up, you can also follow us on Twitter. So, from the crew, we want to say thanks again. And be well, everyone.
Take care.
And if you want to leave a comment, please leave a comment. We appreciate the feedback as well. Take care. Be
Bye.
well. Bye-bye.